Actually, we might not get out.
You want this burger? Yeah, whatever. Is there anything Alrighty.
Good, how are you doing? Where?
Somewhere around.
Are they in? Okay, cool.
All right. Yeah. All right, guys. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for being here, and I'm excited about sharing this information with you guys. The objective tonight is to really help both our connection points as well as our main service be able to use Multitracks and Multitracks, and Prime in a significant way. So, Brother Ian is going to print out a document that I've created for you all to kind of follow by. But I want to just go ahead and get started without it and just kind of give you a little bit of a background, okay? And so I know some people are probably familiar with this, but I want to kind of start from a beginner level perspective and then move us into some demonstration as well. All right, so that's going to be helpful for everybody. Then afterwards, we'll take questions. And if any of you guys want to come up and try the setup, then we'll do that as well. Maybe I'll just call on some people or just come up and sing and play. All right, so we're trying to elevate our worship experience with Multitracks, okay? I gave him that document. It was the only copy that I had. Oh, boy. Is that a good idea? Actually, I can probably find an electronic copy.
I don't know if this is appropriate or not, but where you're going to be teaching, is this from the Loop Community thing that all the connection points use?
Correct.
Or is this, okay, not from Multitracks proper? So what else would I need to have? I have Multitracks. Is it the same?
You read that Loop Community. We'll go over some Ableton Live stuff.
I'm just trying to get on the same level as everybody else in the room.
Yes.
You're so much farther up.
I was thinking they may all be, but you're going to show us that?
I'm going to show you Loop Community as a primary, but I'll go over to some Ableton Live Multitracks as well. Okay? Okay. Does that answer your question?
It does. I just want to learn it all.
So let's introduce Multitracks. So the idea of Multitracks, yes, sir.
What are they going to do with Android version?
That's a great question. I don't know.
All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
All right, so we're talking about Multitracks, and the goal and the objective is to really elevate our worship experience, okay? So what we want to do is we want to foster engagement, and we want to also, the biggest thing is to minimize distractions, okay? So I did this session with the district, and I focused on defining what good worship music looks like, and what is good worship music. How do we measure worship? How do we measure a worship experience? And how do we say that's good worship music and that's not good worship music? And so the definition I came up with is good worship music is worship music that is void of distractions.
Like it.
Okay? And I want you to think about that. If I was in a worship experience and I came in and I was a worship leader and I came in a scuba diver outfit to lead worship, would you be able to focus on the Lord at all? No, it would be a huge distraction. Especially if I came in like soaking wet with those big old like flappers on. You would not, no matter what I was singing or no matter what I was saying, you would not be able to focus on what I was singing about, and you definitely wouldn't be able to focus on who I was worshiping, because all the attention would be on the biggest distraction in the room. And so the goal and the objective is to eliminate as much distraction or things that can be distracting, right? And so we do that with our holiness, we do that with our worship, we do that with our dress, we do that with the way that we present ourselves. If you can tell the worship leader is really into their selves and really into singing, and they're like, ooh, you're not focusing on Jesus because you're distracted, right? And so what we want to do is we want to make sure that our worship experience is void of distractions. If the mic squeals, if the drummer falls off the seat, it doesn't matter. It can be a distraction, and the moment is missed, the moment is gone. So good worship music is worship music that's void of distractions. And what Multitracks allows us to do is to not focus on the distractions. Yes. So that's important for us to understand. Because when you're leading, when you're singing, when you're playing, when you're doing anything in worship, we want to ask ourselves, am I a hindrance? Am I helping or am I hindering? And if I'm distracted, you've seen all these videos on Instagram or YouTube where somebody's like, worshiping and then something happens, the moment is dead. You see the ones where somebody's playing keyboard, they hit the wrong button, and then something like flies off, and there's like a drum beat going on in the background. It just kills the moment, right? Because those are all the distractions that come along. So what we want to do is we don't want to focus on how great our talent is or how great our ability is, but our ability to eliminate as many distractions as possible so that the center and the focus of the worship experience is on the Lord. Amen? Does that make sense? Okay, and so we're going to do that by using Multitracks. So let's talk a little bit about some of the common distractions that happens, okay? And I want you to just imagine what we're trying to do is we're really, if you think about like the old school, or think about like a small church that's starting up, or a missionary experience, and it's just like we saw our missionaries today, right? It's just, if I understand it, it's just the two of them, right? They're just going into Moldova by themselves. And thankfully we want to record to this and send this to them. But they're going into this experience all by themselves. So imagine her having to play the piano and create a worship experience all by herself. Versus having several pieces of instruments and singers in the background to create a better experience, because the major distraction could be that it's just one person behind a keyboard, right? That can be a distraction. Our limitations as musicians can be a distraction. If we are not as skillful or we're beginners, you're going to feel the limitations of that worship leader. Okay? So here's some of the common distractions that we hope to fix with Multitracks and with using these systems. So technical issues, timing problems. Anybody ever had timing problems in their scenario? You're trying to lead worship and then the timing kind of goes off and everybody's kind of singing at different timings. Well, what happens? That creates a distraction that nobody's focusing on anything but the timing issues. Or sound balances, the track is super, super low and you can't really hear the singers, or the track is super loud and you can't hear the singers. Limited instrumentation, right? Complex arrangements. Sometimes if it's just you playing the keyboard, you're going to be limited on what songs you can do because some of the songs are so complex. Right? So the experience of the musician. If the musician is learning or training, all of the limitations of that musician is going to be the focal point. And what Multitracks allows us to do and helps us to do is to bring in these other elements so that the distraction of maybe the inexperience of the musician is not the focus of the worship experience, right? We don't want it to be an experience where it's just me per se playing the keyboard, trying to cover a song, a fast song. It really kind of highlights just the musician, okay? Awkward transitions, right? We want the transition and the experience to kind of flow while you're worshiping, What do you need?
That was Brunswick's. Do you know where ours would be? We need it for the training.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, I don't have it. It's not here, it must be at home. Yeah. Sorry about that. Okay, so awkward transitions. Awkward transitions can be very awkward, and when you go from one kind of experience and you have this worship vibe that's going on, and then it just dries out and it's dead, and there's just nothing kind of happening there. So these are some common distractions, and then just kind of consistent problems. All right. So here's the role of the tracks. The role of the tracks. I want to talk about the role of the tracks, and I want to also define some of these concepts so we're aware of that. So what the tracks do is they provide audio stems from the original song that enhance the live music. That's the idea, is that I want to enhance what I'm already doing. If I just played one of these songs by myself, it would sound as if it's just me by myself. But when I have all this extra arrangement with me, it allows me to have a better experience, okay? So, here's some important terms you need to be aware of. Is you'll see on your sheet, it says a click track. A click track, it keeps everybody playing in time and in sync. That's the point of that. And you're going to see, I'm going to demonstrate what a click track is. And then the guide cue is another term you need to be aware of. And that's a vocal cue that's in your ear, in your inner system as you're listening to the track, that helps the musician flow in between the different song selections. What you don't want to happen is you're playing with the track and you don't know what's coming up next, and then you just start singing the wrong thing, and then there's confusion. And then you have a distraction, so then you don't have good worship music. Does that make sense? Okay. And so for bands and musicians and singers, it's important that whoever, if you've never played alongside a click or a guide cue, it takes some time and some work and some effort to get used to. It can be very challenging if you're hearing a click in your ear and you're trying to worship. But it is possible, okay? So it helps us keep time, it provides cues for us, it ultimately enhances the sound, and it assists with the musicians, okay? All right, here are some of the major benefits that come along with the multi-track system. And I know there's a group of people, I'm not saying in this room, that are like, we don't need all of this. We just need Jesus and a good worship experience, and we just need the Holy Ghost. So we do need, that's important, it is. But there's a benefit that I think is important for us to see and think about as we talk about all the distractions that can come along with it. So it enhances your sound quality. It provides consistency. It provides flexibility. And this is one of the things that people are really concerned about. And I want to take some time today to dive in so you can see how to get that flexibility when you're using multi-tracks. Okay? It improves your timing. We all have, every one of you has an internal metronome. You have an internal clock. And everybody's is different. Everybody's is different. What I have found in my experience is that the older you are, the slower it gets. The younger you are, the faster it is. It's just what it is. It's just how it is. And I don't know how to describe it, but it does happen that way. And so we all have this internal metronome. And if we all started singing our favorite song, we would all sing it at a different tempo. And it probably won't be the tempo that is the original song. It's going to be your internal metronome, which feels comfortable and feels natural to you. And when you have 25 people, all with different metronomes and different timings, you're going to run into challenges. And so what these multi-tracks do is they allow you to lock in to one metronome, one tempo, one BPM, so that everybody is flowing consistently. And you can tell, because what happens is when you have these multiple timings happening, and it all happens at the same time, what happens? It becomes distracting, right? And it's hard to focus because you're hearing, I trust in God, my Savior, the one who will never, and they're just passionate. And you have all these different internal metronomes. And it's so funny. We as me and Thomas, we have moments when we're in there leading worship. And we kind of know everybody's different metronomes or whatever. So we'll start the track before the song, just to get everybody on board, because we know if this person starts singing, it's going to be 10 BPMs lower than the whatever. So we'll say, okay, hey, start it real quick before they get started, because we just know, okay? And so it's going to help improve your timing issues. It's going to provide a different level of professionalism in the worship experience, because the worship experience is for the Lord.
Amen.
But the presentation, in the sense of the people, let's think about the presentation from the perspective of those that are coming into our connection points, coming into our services. What are they getting? What distractions are they getting when they first walk in? When they first walk in and they're seeing somebody with a scuba diving suit on and somebody over here with X, Y, and Z, or are they able to kind of connect, get their metronome connected, get their connection happening? So we want to do everything as unto the Lord, but we want to consider what we're presenting and what people are experiencing when they come into our worship experience, because we want them to engage. So what our goal is to eliminate as much distraction as possible, so there's no reason why someone can't engage in a worship experience. Is that all right?
Yes.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about hardware, okay? And it's important for us to understand this, because even with these systems, it can be very challenging to understand some of the troubleshooting issues that you're going to have. But I want to make sure that we're aware of some of the terminology and some of the hardware that's required. Okay, so let's talk about an audio interface. This is probably one of the most important pieces of hardware that you need in order to run Multitracks. An audio interface is a very simple term. What it does is its whole entire objective is to take an analog signal and convert it into a digital waveform, whatever. Okay, it's a bridge in between. So what it's designed to do is, if you're going into the audio interface into the computer, it's designed to take that analog, like this mic, my voice, this keyboard, and take it and bridge it into the computer so that I can now make that a digital wave file. So I can sing, and then it goes from the mic into the audio interface, into the computer, and becomes a digital wave file. It works also the other way. So the other way is, you have a digital wave file, like a song or MP3 or wave file, and that wave file goes into the audio interface and it comes out as an analog sound. So the focus or the purpose of the audio interface is to be a bridge between two worlds. It's a hardware and software bridge between the two worlds. Does that make sense? Yep. So you'll see here, I think it gives you a more technical definition. Audio interface is a piece of hardware that connects musical instruments, microphones, and other audio sources to a computer or recording device. So what you can use this for, you can use this to record yourself from a mic into the audio interface that then goes into your computer, and you can record yourself. But what we are using it for is, we're using it to take audio files from the computer into the audio interface to go out into a mixer that then goes out of the speakers. And the reason why this is important, because when you think, well, I can just plug in my laptop. Why can't I just plug in my laptop and then I can just play through the speakers or play through the little jack in the system? The difference is, this audio interface will allow me to break up those different channels, those different audio wave files, into multiple different channels or multiple different outputs. So I have you guys on, yeah.
Is there another name for the audio interface? Is that the direct box, or are those two different things?
On the direct box is a different thing. So completely different.
This right
Does
here
it
is
have
a,
another name, the audio interface, or it's always its own?
That's just pretty much the name for it.
Audio
Yeah.
interface?
So now this is a different one other than with the touch points you're using, and like Brother Chris was talking about. This one has 4 outputs on it. So the ones that we're using inside the sanctuary allow us to break out just the more distinct versus than just the click and the track, we can break it up to the click, track, the vocals, the guitars, whatever you want to put on it, because we have more outputs on there.
Okay, so it's just a piece of hardware. Think about it this way: it's a piece of hardware that creates a bridge between the digital world and the analog world. The digital world and the analog world. But the bridge allows us to then separate that and out of the analog into multiple different channels. So I could have, so what we do, so this here is a Focusrite, that one there is a Personas, that one has 4 different outputs, so that means 4 different, I can assign 4 different outputs that there's different things that are coming out of those individual outputs. I feel like I'm losing you guys. Yes.
I'm with you.
So my brain doesn't work like this.
Okay.
So I'm gonna preface it that way. Are you saying it's taking a song and then breaking it up into different paths, like the click and the whatever, and then putting it through this box?
So it's not doing it. It's already broken up,
Okay.
but it's assigning it to different outputs. So this box here, think about this box like you know how you have your laptop and you have like an out on your laptop. You can put your headphones in, or you can put in your whatever. You can connect a speaker. Yeah.
I was gonna say, maybe define what an output looks
Sure.
like, or what an output is.
Sure.
So that way we can make, so that way those, if you're having trouble, you can make a connection from, okay, so it's digital, it's just a 1 or a 0.
Mhm.
Going into the box, it's somehow converting it to, a sine wave,
Yeah.
so that it's going out to an output. What is an output?
So an output is just a channel that that I can push something out of. I can push a sound out of that output, right? So the most simplest output that you have is your headphone jack. When you hit play on your laptop, it goes out of that headphone jack. That's an output. But that particular output only allows you to play everything through the one output. Does that make sense? So when you put your headphones in, you're going to hear everything.
Yeah.
But if you have multiple outputs, you can break up everything. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah.
It will make sense as we get to the demonstration part as well, because I'll show you how to set up the output. But really what you need to do,
Sorry.
No.
I don't want to complicate it,
yeah,
but it also, to Annie's question, it also is what you start with. So just
Mhm.
because you're putting a song through a multiple channel
Yes.
interface doesn't mean that it's going to break it up into multiple channels.
yeah.
So that's why, if you know a little bit about the songs that we're using in connection points, some of them are broken up and some of them are not.
Yeah.
Right, so it's how you start.
Okay.
This is the real, I think, I'll just dumb it down even further. For me, is that it's a higher quality output than a headphone jack.
Yeah.
That's the real benefit of an audio interface, is it keeps the quality,
Yeah.
the original quality that the song was designed, or the sound was designed to keep. It carries it through to the ability to hear it.
Ability to hear. Correct. That's good.
Years ago, when we first started with Multitracks, way back in the old CLC, back on Darnestown Road, we played everything with iPods, and this is the connection that we had. This is the same thing that'll plug into your laptop, MacBook, whatever, but it's this single connection right here.
So that's it. So lift it up. So that's a single connection. But you guys have probably never noticed this. On those connections, you'll see there's 2 black rings. Okay? And if you ever see it where there is 3 black rings, it typically has a microphone. Like if you had your headphones and a microphone on it, it would have 3 black rings, right? So the reason why it has those 2 black rings is because it's actually, even though that's one device, that's actually broken up into 2, but it's actually stereo. Does that make sense? So mono, by definition, mono is basically, we hear in stereo, so we have 2 ears, okay? God blessed us, He gave us stereo. So we hear from both ears. But when you only have, we have mono, you only have 1 channel. So those are actually designed to where you're getting 2 channels out of it, but it's simply by that ring. Just so you know that, okay? So you need a audio interface, and like I said, I'll explain the outputs and all that, but just it's important to understand what this device does. You need a laptop, and this is what AI gets you. AI just gets you Microsoft. They didn't do Mac stuff, but I left it. All right?
New Year's Eve, I played 4 tracks off a Windows machine and never flinched.
Yeah. And you need to understand what an in-ear monitor system is. This system works because you have an in-ear monitor system. You have the ability to hear the mix that you want to hear. So it's important that you use in-ears because that click track that we talked about earlier, we don't want everybody to hear it. We just want to hear it because the click track keeps us in time. If you can't hear the click track, you can't just play it through the house. You play it in your ears, okay? All right, so let's talk a little bit about troubleshooting. And I added this because I know that some of us are new to this, some of us are already using this, and there can be challenges and problems that come along, okay? So it's important to make sure that you check all your connections. Making sure that all your cables are connected properly. A lot of times the issue that people have with these systems is if it's not connected properly, it doesn't matter it doesn't matter how many times you hit play, it's just not gonna work. It has to be connected properly. You wanna verify the software. Each one of these audio interfaces has a software link to it as well. And so it's important to make sure that the software is updated. Checking your audio levels is important, making sure that you have the proper audio levels coming from your input and your output. Making sure that your monitor mix is the mix that you hear. So a monitor mix is allowing you to be able to hear properly the track and the clicks and all that. Make sure you can actually hear the click. It's also important to make sure that you have a backup. I always try to make sure that before we get to the service, I've already reviewed all the material. I've already kind of gone through all the stuff that I need. Communicate clear, make sure everyone knows the cues, the timelines, the lyrics, the arrangements, the transitions. This is not a system that you can just say, I want to do this song today. I will do that song, and I will bring the laptop, I'll set everything up, and we're going to do it. You're going to have to learn it. You're going to have to put the time in to listen to it on your own, and you're going to have to rehearse. Rehearsing is really, really important, okay? You're going to have to be aware of the arrangement, the tempo, how many times it goes to the bridge, how many times it goes to the chorus. If you don't spend the time to learn the song, you will get in that moment and it just will feel very, very uncomfortable. It'll feel like you're going along with the track and that it's in control and you're not in control. But if you do it effectively, no one will they will look around and they'll be like, I heard drums and I heard keyboard, but I saw no drums. And where's the bass? They won't even know because they'll be so focused on the worship experience and not on who's there and who's not there. Okay? All right, so I'm going to do some demonstration here in a second. But basically the idea is to be able to embrace this tool in such a way that it's impactful and that we present ourselves in excellence. Okay? All right, so let's go to, I'm going to show you a couple of examples. And then I want somebody who's willing to kind of step up here and do this. And so be thinking about that, be praying about that. Okay, so this is Prime. And this is it's important for you to understand this terminology as well. I can't zoom.
Okay.
No. It's important for you to understand what this is called. This is called a DAW, or some people call it a DAW. It stands for Digital Audio Workstation. Everybody say that. Digital Audio Workstation. Okay, so what is a digital audio workstation? It's a workstation for digital audio. See what I did there? So what it allows you to do is it gives you a place to work with audio that's digital. Okay? So what's a workstation? It's a place to work. It's a place to manipulate, to adjust, to convert. It's a place that I can work on digital audio, right? Because the digital audio that you get typically is an MP3 or a WAV file, and basically what do you do with that? You just hit play. You can't work on it. It is what it is. This allows you to manipulate or work on digital audio. So this is called a digital audio workstation. And the digital audio workstation that we're using here is called Prime. So let me just break down just the basics of those who might not be aware. Each one of these bars here is individual, we would call them audio stems or individual tracks. And they allow me to control the volume of each part of the digital audio that I'm working with. And in this case, I'm working with, let's go to this one, let's go to Trust in God, okay? So this is each one of those stems, as they call them, controls a different sound. So you'll see here we have click, as we talked about earlier, we have cues, and then we have all the individual instruments. We have acoustic, background vocals, and other background vocals, bass, choir, we got some drums in there, we got some electronics typically mean electronic guitars, loop is an actual loop, and I can work on what I want to hear from this digital audio workstation. Every place that you see where it's an M or an S is where that means mute or solo. So I can come in and say, I don't want to hear the acoustic, and I can mute that, and that goes away. So when I play this audio from this digital audio workstation that goes into my audio interface that comes out of the other end onto the speakers, you won't be able to hear the acoustic if I hit mute. If I hit solo, then that means you will only be able to hear just the acoustic, okay? Does that make sense so far?
Yes.
Here is just some standard play buttons, and then this here is your master. So this allows you to control all of these individual audio stems all at the same time from the master. Then this is your start and stop, or it actually pushes you to the next song. You have your stop button. You have a button that allows you to forward to the next song. This here allows you to repeat the entire song. And this here is going to be your best friend. This is your kill switch. Everyone is off and it's not working well. And so if you hit that button, it will actually fade out the track completely. But it will leave the cue. That way if somebody's ever off, you can just kill the track and just go live, okay? We use that all the time in Walkersville. All the time, okay? Then you got your timing over here, you got your BPMs, you got your in and outputs. Here, this is an important gear. This gear takes you to the different settings. The main setting that you want to be aware of is this audio setting. This audio setting, the way that, remember we talked about the laptop, pushes out the sound to the audio interface, but the two hardware need to be connected by a cable, but they also need to be connected inside the software. So this is important. So you'll see here, the audio output device or the audio interface that I'm using is the Scarlett 212. So when I plug in this Scarlett USB to my laptop, it should show up inside of the software as a usable output. If it doesn't, take it out and put it back in and try again until it does. Or you might have to update some type of software in the hardware, okay? But this is important. If I was to plug up that one, which is a Personas, and plug it into here, the Personas will pop up automatically, okay? So what this is this is defining inside the software where I want the audio to go. It's going to go to the audio interface. So it says, digital audio workstation sound, go here. Here is the audio interface. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Stop me if you have questions, if I'm not saying something that makes sense. Yeah.
You are making sense. I just want to know, when you're manipulating it, does it affect at all what's in the whole library? Like, let's say you were rearranging it and you save it to yourself. is it only affecting that set list? Because I get nervous sometimes making changes,
Yeah.
thinking it'll mess the whole thing up.
It only affects your set list. So for instance, I can go in here and I could say this section here that has CD or stands for chorus down, I could take that out completely. And it will not affect somebody else. It's only affecting your set list. Okay? Yeah.
And when you do that, let's say you make a mistake and you saved it under your set list, is it a matter of taking it down and then putting the song back on?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Correct. Yep. Good question. That sounded like that was a troubleshooting problem in Brunswick.
Yes, it was. For Ann.
Good. Okay. Yeah, don't worry about that. Because anything that you bring onto your set list is your set list. It doesn't affect, what you see down here is the library. The library, the library is a library of songs that we have access to. All of these songs I can pull from and I can add to my set list. My set list is my songs for the day. Okay? So last week, this is what we did. You guys gonna get a last week experience. Last week we did I Got a Song, we did Build My Life. Okay? Next week we're doing Reason to Dance and Trust in God. Okay? So the set list is the songs that I want to do for this set. Okay? So you're going to see how I would do this week and last week's. Okay? Any questions so far? Okay? All right, so let's look at this portion here. This portion is really important. I'm going to start with trusting God. And I want you to see what this is this is the wave file. This is what digital sound looks like. It's a wave file. Okay? And this is the entire song. And it's broken down into specific areas. You'll see here verse 1, verse 2. You'll see C means chorus. Verse 3, verse 4. Now look at this. All of them are colored the same. For every C is orange. All the B's or bridge are purple. The instrumentals are blue. And the choruses are yellow, or orange, and the verses are yellow. Everybody see that?
Yep.
Now, you'll see that the wave files are different, though, for each one of the sections. And what that's communicating to us is that this chorus is softer than this chorus. You see that?
Yep.
This bridge here is softer than, obviously, this bridge. So if I play this bridge here,
4, 5, 6.
you can see it's a very soft bridge. But if I click here, it's going to automatically jump over this bridge and go right here. You'll see the difference in the bridge. Watch.
Bridge 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
You see? So there was a difference in the bridge. And I can tell that, I can determine that by the wave file. The wave file is an indicator to me of how soft or how loud something is. Okay? Does that make sense? That's important for you to understand. And if you look, this is kind of going from soft and it's going bigger and bigger and bigger. Okay? So it's important for you to see that. Now, each one of these sections are set up in such a way where you can move between one section or the other. Now, some of them make sense and some of them don't. And you can see by the wave file. If I jump from this verse to that bridge, there's going to be a big jump, right? So I wouldn't do that. So even though I can do something, doesn't mean I will do something, okay? And so you want to be familiar with and rehearse with the track. You cannot go in and just set it up and say it will do the work. You have to rehearse with it, okay? So I'm going to show you how that will look with trusting God. And then if you notice, when I hit play, if I press on like the bridge down, what it's doing is it's saying to bridge down, go here, skip over the instrumental.
Down bridge
And you
2,
see
3,
it's
4, 5, 6.
And the guide actually told me, it didn't tell me instrumental, it told me go to the bridge. You see that? So that's a little bit about the system, and you'll see here, I can also add in this kind of low end pad. Yeah.
Question before transitioning to that. So the benefit of this is that not only do you see the waveforms, but you have the song broken out.
Yeah.
There are some songs, for whatever reason, that it doesn't let you break out.
Yeah.
What can we do in that instance to try to?
That's the advanced class, but you can actually go in, you see here this little pencil, you can actually go in and you can assign where you want something to start and begin, okay? And I can show you that.
So you have to know, though, you have to be wise enough musically to know this is the bridge, this is the...
You do have to. You do have to. Now you will still see that wave, you'll still see that wave file, right? But, you know, it's important to, like you'll see this is a big part, whatever, but to get it exact, it does take a little bit of work, okay? So this is Multitracks. Now let's go through an experience. Let's act like we're in church, we're in Brunswick, all right? And we're going to do trusting God, all right? So trusting God is in C. So, you know, let's all stand. Let's give God praise, whatever you would say when you first open up the service. Let's begin to worship the Lord, right? Then you're going to hit that click. And you're going to hear a click in your ear.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And you just play along with it. And the cool thing about having these tracks, you don't have to play a lot. If I was by myself, I would have to carry so much of the song. I trust in God, my Savior, the one. What am I doing? What am I doing all this for? Because I'm carrying the tempo.
Yeah.
Right? But I don't have to carry the tempo, and I don't have to play as much. So for those of you that are musicians, and this works for piano and guitar, you don't have to play as much. It actually frees you. Matter of fact, I'll tell you a secret. When I use these tracks, I keep the keyboard in. I cheat a little bit. That way I have a little bit of freedom if I need to, okay? So what the keyboard does is it provides that extra ambiance and that extra live experience so that you don't feel like you're just playing along an instrumental track, all right? All right, so from the top, here we go.
Intro. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Now we did this song on Thursday, and Jackie just thought she was leading worship. I wish I had recorded it, but she just kept talking through the intro. So I had to kind of keep it going, right? So it goes right here. So I hit that button.
Intro. 2, 3, 4,
And then let me
5,
just keep
6.
going. So she can just keep testifying. Right? And so she just felt so free because she knew that I was going to be there and just keep going. And I can go to 3 times I want.
So the key is...
Intro. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And you can be testifying all you want.
But you have to be wise enough to come in at the right time, though.
Yes. So what I would do with this is, and this is where the rehearsal comes into play, is you have to rehearse this and you have to know where you're going. You have to know where you're going in advance. You can't think, I'm going to just... People are confused a lot of times when it comes to like flowing. Flowing is not just improvising in the moment at the last minute, right? Worship leading is intentional leading. It's, I'm taking you where I've already been, right? I'm leading you where I've already been. That's why it's important for worship leaders when you're worshiping that you've already been where you're taking somebody because you're leading them into the presence of the Lord, right? I'm leading you to where I've already been. Come follow me. We're going to go into the presence of the Lord. We're going to worship God, and what I've already experienced in prayer, right, in devotion, and in rehearsal, you're going to now experience. That's what worship leading is I'm taking you where I've already been. That's what ministry is. Come check out this Jesus. There's peace over here. There's joy over here. There's love over here. I'm taking you. I'm leading you in worship, right? So I have to prepare. I have to rehearse. I have to be aware of where I'm going. And then as I go there, then it's not really more of a flow. It's not more like an improvised, like, okay, I don't know what I'm going to do. Okay, chorus again. It's not that. It's more like, I already know I'm going to the chorus again because I want to maximize that point because I feel God's presence here and I know this is what is needed in that moment. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay? So we are taking people where we've already been. You can't take people where you've never been.
That's right.
If you never experienced peace, you can't give them peace, right? You can't take them to where peace is. Okay? So what I'm going to do is, when it comes to these tracks, is I'm rehearsing. Maybe I want to say something in the beginning. Maybe like Sister Monique did this morning. She was rehearsed. She had already been somewhere in the Word. She already had an experience, and she brought us into that experience with the foundation, right? And I could vividly see as she was talking about laying the foundation. I could see somebody putting wood on that foundation, or putting hay on that foundation, or putting stone or gold on that, right? She was taking us where she already been.
Right.
She was inviting us into that experience. So maybe you want to do that with the song, and you want the flexibility and the freedom to do that. So what you do is, hey, when I hit this play, I'm gonna hold that intro for a little while I give that testimony. Okay?
Intro 2, 3, 4, 5,
Right back
6.
in. Right? And so I know I still need more time, so I click it again, right? And you don't even know what's happening. I'm clicking it. And maybe you can run this from 2 different places. I run it from the keyboard and myself, but the sound person could run this, right? So if you're Sister Griffin, you're doing this, that worship leader could be saying, give me some more time. I gotta get it in, right? And then after they're ready, you don't hit it anymore. You let them know you want a verse.
I have a question about the hitting. Is there a particular place? Do you hit the eye? Do you hit? Because
So you want to hit it as quickly as possible. You want to already know what your intentions
No,
are.
where physically
anywhere
on
in
there.
the
Oh, you hit it in the section. You see? So
Anywhere in the box.
yeah, anywhere in the box.
So anywhere in the box will bring it to the beginning
Anywhere in the box will bring it to the beginning of that,
of that section.
section.
Yeah, that section, but not like you're in the middle of the verse 1, right?
Yeah.
It's going to start at the beginning of verse 1.
Correct. Well, it's not. I'm going to hit play. It's going to start there, but then when I hit
Verse 2,
click,
3, 4,
it's going to go back to
5,
the
6.
verse.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So if I know I want to do that verse again, I'm going to go ahead and already hit it. Okay.
So you guys see a little white box number there?
Yeah.
So that's the indicator.
That's the indicator that you hit it.
Okay, so
Yeah.
anywhere in the
Section.
section.
Yeah.
I think I'm understanding something that initially I was thinking when you click, it takes care of all the colors, whatever that color is, but it actually restarts wherever those little indicators are at the top,
Yeah.
right? Because
It-
that would be that's not the end of that verse completely, really, like if you were to sing it normal.
Well, he was only doing the intro.
Yes, but I'm referring to where he's at right now. So that's gonna stop like pretty quickly and go back to that instead of finishing all of that color there. At least.
No, it's going to finish on that color.
It will, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that color Monique is just verse, but in that is verse 1 and verse 2.
Gotcha. I thought when you were playing it through and you had already hit that it stopped midway through and went back.
Oh, no.
Okay.
So this little red indicator is where you are on the timeline of the WAV file. That red indicator, okay? I'm stopping and starting, so it could be confusing when I'm stopping and starting. I'll do the song all the way through, and I'll show you how I will create different experiences, okay? Go ahead.
So do you, Bill, you have like a separate time where you rehearse with your singers and
So Walkersville is blessed because they have me to run this. So we rehearse the songs, but we actually rehearse the track before sound check. But everyone knows that I can run this, so we're in
But
a,
just like Kristen has been saying the whole time, you do need to spend some time with this on your own. Like last night, preparing for this morning, like the new song we did this morning, I spent some time down in the man cave last night rehearsing, just like you said. If Sister Monique wanted to go back to the bridge, I rehearsed how to go through the whole song and then take us all the way back. So it does take some, like you see, like you've been saying.
yeah, what I recommend if you're the worship leader is to take this, and you can do this on your phone, your iPad, or your laptop, and just sing the song through and play around with moving things around and manipulating how you want, okay? So, yeah.
So that's a way to loop that one section. How about, this may have already been asked, if, someone starts, we start like a section in the middle of something and we're trying to play catch up. Is there a way to on demand click, like, oh goodness, the horse has run off and we need to start, boom, to catch up with?
This system is simplistic, so the answer for this system, I would say no. Ableton Live, you can't do that, and we actually do it a lot.
Yeah.
We've been doing that a lot lately with you all.
I did it this morning.
Yeah. And it's fun. It's actually fun for us to be able to get back on. This system, that's why you want this kill switch, right? So what I would do is I would kill this switch, and you'll see what it sounds. Let me show you what it sounds like. So let's say
4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Right. Watch. I'm trying to just slowly fade out.
That was me, I turned it up a little bit.
Oh, I'm like, how's it going up? See how it faded out? But the click is there. So what I could do is I could just start playing. And I do this a lot. Sometimes we get off, and so I'll just kind of fade us out, and then I'll get us back on.
Or I start yelling in the talk back.
She started singing in the top back.
Singing really loud in the talk back.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Right. So let me walk it all the way through to you, and just bear with me. I'm going to play it through, and then I'm going to manipulate how you can manipulate the flexibility of it. All right. So here's the top of it.
Intro 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So I'm kind of testifying, right? What's the first words?
Verse 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Thank you. That's always my problem. Jesus is Lord. All right, so this is the congregation of Ironville. Come on, sing with me, y'all. Let's just worship the Lord.
Verse 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, that's always my problem is the words.
4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And I'm trusting God, my Savior. You're the one. So we're kind of soft, right? We're kind of chill. read that
Down
line.
2, 3,
Now,
4,
that
5,
bridge.
6.
I trust in the Lord. Yeah, that's it. I saw the Lord, and He heard, and He answered. I saw the Lord, and He heard, and He answered. That's why I trust in Him.
Bridge 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Bill, I saw the Lord, and He heard, and He answered. So I'm going to go back to the first bridge right now, right? Because it'll be like going up and then going back down. You see that?
Bridge 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I saw the Lord, and He heard. Go back down. I saw the Lord, and He answered. That's why I'm so building. That's why right? Now we're building. Said I saw the Lord. I saw the Lord. Yes. That's why I trust Him. That's why I trust in God, my Savior. Okay, watch this. I trust in God, my Savior, the one who will never. Am I gonna bridge?
Down 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I saw the Lord. That was kind of a hard hit, right? I saw the Lord. Right? I can be engaging everybody in, and you sing out loud, right? I can now getting a different experience. That's why.
Down 2, 3,
That's why
4,
I
5,
trust
6.
in God. Now, my Savior. See, I kind of removed that whole big section and went to a, right? I can control that intensity. Right? Make sense?
Now, but Chris, this,
Yeah.
I think what I was asking is indeed, what I was thinking is correct, and I just don't want to bring this up because, just in case anyone didn't catch that, it does not completely play the color of the selection you're on. There are tick marks within each selection, like bars, that if you, because what you did was in that purple section, you went back before completed, and maybe you didn't understand my question earlier, but it doesn't, when you click on a section, play like all of the color of that section,
No.
which was what I was asking earlier.
Yes, no. The colors, if you see that, the colors are just indicators of the same kind of section.
And the section could have markers in there.
Correct, yes. So wherever, I would see a section as a section between a box that has a letter in it. So this BD is one section. This B is another section. So this BD is meaning bridge down, down bridge. It meaning I'm doing the bridge, but I'm bringing the music down, okay? So this is one section, this is one section, this is one section, this is one section, and then this is different intensity levels based off of those sections. You see, this is not as intense, this is super intense, right? So what I'm looking at with this wave file is, what kind of experience do I want to create in this moment? What do I think it needs? Maybe it just needs a soft moment where we're just kind of lingering, right? And I could go to this down chorus and I could keep repeating that over and over again because the Spirit is moving, so-and-so begin to pray for so-and-so, so-and-so is worshiping over here, and I don't want to leave this moment yet. So I'm going to keep hearing that down chorus. Now this whole section is one section,
Yeah.
okay? This whole section is one section, and they're calling it chorus, but it's actually two choruses in there. And that's why it's important to rehearse with the material so that you can kind of know, because sometimes they divide them up differently than maybe we would divide them up, okay? But each one of these sections is a section that you can manipulate. Yeah.
So you just went from the down bridge to the down chorus, right?
Yeah.
So what if that was your intention from rehearsal? You just said, okay, I'm gonna do that at the end with what I'm doing. How
Mhm.
would you grab that down bridge and pull it to the end?
That's a great question. So what you can actually do is you can actually manipulate these sections. See if I can do it. Is it there? Is it arrangement? I can take this whole section.
And move it.
Oh, wow.
And
So-
that changes it for every connection point?
No.
No?
It changes it for your set list.
My set list, okay.
Correct.
All right.
So maybe I say, I don't want all this. This is too loud. This is too rambunctious. I need something that's just super soft, that's continual. I can do that. I can just bring this over here and say that's kind of, so it's not like this.
Can you duplicate the section?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's say in here.
Down 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Now you're there. Let's change that back. I want to show you one more thing. Okay? And what's cool about this here is,
Can you click reset and it goes back to the way it was?
yeah. So the cool thing about this is, let's say I'm here. Save. Say I'm here. And I got a nice experience happening. Let's go here. And I want to go back here. I can go there. Right? And then go back to that bridge. Watch.
Down 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
That's all alone. Then I can go right to the ending. That's all alone. I want to go one more time. That's why I'm trusted.
And 2, 3, 4,
That's why I
5,
trust
6.
in God. All right. Does that make sense? Now I'm going to show you one more thing about this here. Is I'm going to do a fast song too, so you can kind of see this, because it's important to rehearse it because it won't always work for every scenario. Yeah.
Are those songs on the set list like do they contain wave sound, or with files, or are they like actual waves? Are those waves?
Yeah. So I think I understand your question. So, yes, they are wave files.
Those are like if I use FL Studio, it would be FLP, right?
I can't hear you. I'm sorry.
If I was using another DAW, let's say FL Studio,
Yeah.
so the extension of the file would be FLP. If I export the second, so are those like those kind of files, or?
No. No. So this system is a little bit more simple than that DAW, right? This is kind of like designed for a basic user. Okay, that one you're talking about, you can actually import, export, you can manipulate. This one is kind of already set up for you. So there isn't a way to like export the individual WAV files
So
from.
what kind of files are used?
They're WAV files, but they're cloud based.
So when you say that the sound had the tracks inside of them, then the wave actually had them?
Yeah. So, yeah. So that system is set up for several different user experiences. This one is set up for one specific user experience. So it basically eliminates all that complex stuff and makes it as simple as possible so a caveman can use it.
It's actually amazing how if all of our connection points really put the time in and learning and working this, it just can make all the difference.
It can make all the difference in the world. You really can. Absolutely. Did you have a question, Annie? Okay. All right. So, yeah.
The same thing is said for vocals in there, right?
So
No.
the vocals are a little tricky, depending on how. So what these are the original masters. Okay. So what that terminology is referring to is the original artist, what they produce. We're getting those original files. If they produce the files and ported them to us individually, we get them. If they don't, they don't.
Yes,
So-
going back to the earlier question.
Yes, so if it says alto, soprano, tenor, then you can break up alto, soprano, tenor. In this case, you see it just says background vocals.
But you could throw that in there, right?
Yeah. It was actually in there.
Yeah, for support.
This is,
Yeah.
this is the first time ever in the history of COC that the keyboard was loud enough for us to hear. So, you couldn't hear the rest of the.
Yes. Okay, so let's get reason to dance. All right, we know this song. Here we go. Right, so I might want to come in here and I might say, I want more drums, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna bring these things down a little bit, okay? So that I can manipulate whatever I want to manipulate. Where's the drums? Those are the drums, okay? So now the drums are like the loudest thing, right? So now I can hear what it sounds like now. Oh, I wanted to show you something. This is kind of cool too. All right, so let's say you're here. Let's go back, all right? We talked about manipulating experiences, right? So what you can do is, just say you wanted to, and this is kind of next level, right? But must say, if you want that kind of experience, you just want the drums, and you want that moment, you can do that. You can kind of do that, right? So I thought that was kind of cool. Anyway, back to reason to dance.
You got solo.
All right, here we go.
So if you solo it from the previous session,
Yeah.
it carries over. Is that right?
Yep. All right, to see. Like that piano in here. Reverse, right? Now with this one here, you'll see here, see this wave flower here? And then it gets smaller. And you see how the section gets bigger? You have to rehearse this because some sections will not make sense to go back and forth to. Okay? So like if I go from this right here to here,
2, 3, 4.
right? So it was a smooth transition, right? It was okay. But it might not, sometimes it doesn't make sense. So if I'm like, let's say I'm,
Go to the end there, yeah. Let's go back to that.
let's see what happens here.
2, 3, 4.
So it's like, it's kind of a weird, transition. So some of them, you want to just be mindful of that. Like this one here, this is the chorus, but this is like the soloist chorus. So if I go, so I'm doing this kind of, this breakdown here.
2, 3, 4.
I'm dancing, so the solos will sing here. Grateful, the sun sets free, it's free indeed. Born is here and I'm grateful. For the Savior God, in victory. And everybody comes in, right? If I try to go back to this section, I'm by myself. So those are things you want to kind of consider. For the Savior God, so you have to be kind of like mindful of where do I want to go? Where am I leading people? Okay? So I don't want to go like, watch this, going from here to here.
3, 2, 3, 4.
So that kind of works, right? Those things you want to kind of consider. But I think maybe if you go from here,
2, 3, 4.
I that work? Kind of a big jump, right? So those are things you want to be careful, but you have to kind of rehearse on your own. Yeah.
Can you rename the cues?
Not really in this system. No. All right. Here's something that's also cool. That's really helpful with transitions. All right. So this is at the end of the song, and if you see this little section here, see that?
Yep.
That is going to cue the one song to automatically start the second song. Okay? So I don't even have to stop and start. I just let it play, so watch it. I might switch keys. Somebody's testifying. That didn't work well.
You're on the solo thing.
You're doing them solo.
Oh, so it saved from last time. Let's do it again.
This is good though.
Let's do it again. All right. Alright, so I testified. So kind of playing a switch keys. See the tempo changer?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I'm already in it. I don't have to touch it. So if you really put time in and practice it, you can really make an experience where nobody even feels that you're over here.
Yeah.
And what I do a lot of times is, because I have this is more important than me playing, and me engaging is more important than me playing. So if I set it up properly and I'm not playing, I don't have to feel like bound to the keyboard, right? Like I will just, so like if I'm going from a section like this, I'll go here. Praise the Lord, let's begin to worship God, let's clap our hands. God is good, whatever.
Intro,
And I
2,
just let
3,
it kind of-
4, 5,
They're not
6.
hearing this. And the track is already going. I don't have to think about what's happening next. I can just kind of jump in. Sorry, wrong chord. Right now I'm back in.
Verb 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
See how I did that? Any questions about that? Yeah.
So when you pick a little square, there's like crossfade, overlap.
Yeah, I can break those down for you. I would not touch any of the other ones because they can get a little confusing. The crossfade means it's gonna find the end of the audio of one, it's gonna crossfade and then bring up the other one. Sometimes, well, that wasn't that. This was more like once this end, start this. Crossfade is gonna be dun 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 dun, and it's gonna be fading the two together, and that can be a little confusing, and it can be a little.
Not the same key.
It can jump you, right? It can jump you. This is gonna end, and once that is done, it's gonna start. It's gonna automatically start the next one. That's what you want. You don't want to mess with these other ones. The other ones can be a little challenging, okay? But this auto advance is going to automatically advance the next song, okay? So it takes some intentionality. It takes some being, okay, what song do I want to do, right? What order do I want to do that song? Then I learn the arrangement. I learn the vocal parts. I learn what kind of experience that I want to do and how to create that experience, okay? That's a lot, I know. But if you really take the time to work on it, no one even knows, and what it does is it eliminates all of those distractions. They can all focus because everybody is on the same timing, same metronome, everybody's locked in, and everybody is knowing where we're going. All right? Any questions? Anybody want to try it? Any piano players want to come up in here and try it? Come on, Sister Monique.
Piano player that never plays. Not play anymore.
So, trusting God is in C. You got those chords? I can give you the numbers real quick. Say, okay.
I mean, I don't know, I'll go by here. So vulnerable. So where do I start? Here?
Huh?
You got anything?
Yeah.
6.
I'm gonna add a little more.
You need a lot more time, sister.
I don't think I can do what I did today and do this.
Intro 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So I've never played this. See how awesome I am? What are they gonna do?
Verse 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Universe. Universe.
Jesus is mine. He's been the fourth man in the fire, time after time. Old people in slow tempo.
Verse 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Where we go, guys? We're going there.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
My Savior,
That's just I want you to try to go to the instrumental part. All right, so go to the instrumental. Instrumental.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Down 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I saw the Lord, and He heard, and He answered. I saw the Lord, and He heard, and He answered. I saw the Lord, and He heard, and He answered.
Break 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I saw the Lord, and He heard, and He answered. I saw the Lord, and He heard, and He answered. I saw the Lord, and He heard, and He answered.
I don't think I'm in the past.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I could've done that. Can't hear ya.
Now, let's go to the down chorus. Go to the down chorus. No, down chorus.
Down 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay, now, I can do this all I want, and it's not gonna do anything.
All right, come on, Sophia. Now, you can, Sister Monique, talk a little bit about that experience. How was that?
I need to
Well,
have
I'll tell you,
headphones
anybody that goes
into
up
the
there,
front.
this was,
And then I
I've
need to
never,
move to-
never used this.
Uh-huh.
So if that was anything that was kind of rusty and a little rough, but I did it, and I've never done it.
Yeah.
So if I'm actually
So it's doable.
Okay.
that in-ear
For
monitor.
sure.
All right.
Live my life.
No, I'm just trying to affect, I'm just trying to,
All right,
I'm
so
trying to.
Sophia's gonna take a new song, all right? So we got a new song. She's gonna take "Build My Life."
Okay.
All right, so she has rehearsed this, and she already knows where she wants to go, right?
But, well, what's the question? You want me to sing and play? Is that what you want me to do?
As much as you can. As much as you can do. If
Okay,
you
well,
want to
that
just,
song's not my
That's,
original.
okay.
So can you just, can I choose a whole other song?
You know what I can do?
Can you add
Because they don't know.
I know what I can.
Number two, it's not very good.
Echo?
Okay, so like
Here we go.
so this will be here.
Oh, you want to go next? Is that what you said? Well, that's the one I faked out, but it's okay. I'll have to go charge for that.
Right, and that's this bank. Yeah, correct.
All right. So this song is Covenant Keeping God. So she's going to try
That's something to
to
sing.
play it, sing it,
That's not.
and organize it. All right.
That's going to the house.
This is try it. Try it. You can do it. I know you know the song. Here we go.
Hold on, I need a chord chart. Do a chord chart?
I know. Go get your guitar, Ray. Come on, go get it. Raymond, go get your guitar. It's in another level.
Okay, so that's good. Okay, so I come in here and I hit solo. Okay, so I hit here, I hit solo. This is their main. This is their main. Now, what happens then? Okay, so then from there,
Ready?
then I can mix.
Maybe.
All right.
So then
So you're gonna hit the play.
still.
Hold on, Thomas. Let's do this afterwards. So make sure I do this one. All right?
Yeah.
Well, you've been doing the actual song, like,
Like, I really want to
Yeah, you're gonna start it.
No, but you should. Yeah, you should. Somebody should. We never had the fact of God. Like, you know, like if I lost, I see Jesus.
Are y'all gonna do that? Yeah, so we're gonna do something similar to this.
All right, here we go.
We should.
No, this is actually.
Now she's adding in another element, which is a lead sheet. So that can be challenging when you have to sing, play, look at the lead sheet, and run these tracks. Okay?
But like.
Sister Griffin, actually, why don't you come up?
So that way.
And I want you to run the track. All right? So you're gonna play. You don't have to worry about the track. All right?
We would have a different dot and we would be like manipulating. Singularly, or we manipulating. Okay. Which is okay. It's starting to, all the pieces are starting to come together. And that's
So
really,
in Brunswick, the sound media person does it. So you're gonna.
Actually, the media person does it while they're doing Pro Presenter as well.
Yes.
So,
That's right, sis.
So what you can do if you want to, you can hit that little button at the very bottom. See the button at the bottom? It's right next to Covenant. Under library. There's like a little circle with the, yeah, right there. Hit that. And then you're gonna go down to where it says G flat. Yep, hit that. So this is the key that she's in. So if you're in the media, you can kind of have that little bit of going, you know, padding on. And if you look at the very, to the right of that, you can pull that bar down. Yep, and then that way you don't have as much of it. We have a little bit of there in there. So you can start there like that, start the pad, and now hit play. No, you can keep it going. All right? underneath that. All right? So that's really good, all right? You're automatically engaged. There's no distraction. Now, I want you to play it by yourself so they can see the difference between that, right? So if it was just her without all of that accompaniment,
That was the demonstration of the pastor wife of a really big fancy church.
yes.
Here's your musician. She's still pretty amazing though.
You'll never leave me. Just listen to the singing.
Keep going, baby.
Keep going, keep going.
Okay. You'll never leave me. You said that you won't forsake me. You're right beside me, and that is all that matters. You'll never leave me. I'm playing the wrong chord. You said that you won't forsake me, and you're right beside me, and that is all that matters.
Now for the top. Yep, for the top.
And let me ask you, Sophia, how do you feel between the two?
Okay, well, so, in all honesty, if I was going to just play and sing, I would pick a song that I was really familiar with on the keyboard, and I'd be able to play it much better, and then I would feel comfortable. But, if we had time to practice this, that does feel nice to have all that support.
Okay, so even if you knew it amazing, would you like support, or would you rather just you and a keyboard?
I would love the support, as long as it was practiced. Like he's saying, the rehearsed thing, because when we've done this with the track, and I practiced but the team didn't, it still is like, okay, I know this, but this isn't all jiving. So as long as there's rehearsal and preparation, it's good. If it was spontaneous and we're trying to worship without having had time to practice, then me and the keyboard is much more comfortable for me.
But the point is, nobody should go cold turkey, but you could, because you're playing, you were very uncomfortable.
Yes.
But that totally was disguised with that.
Exactly. Yes. True. Very true.
And that's the point.
Yes.
The first time we could not tell of your mistakes.
Yes.
And what are the mistakes? The mistakes are distractions.
Yeah, my
We're trying to
distractions were
avoid the distractions. We're trying to remove the distractions. Everybody heard all the mistakes when she's by herself.
And you're not limited.
And you're not limited. So it's not limiting, it's not focusing on your distractions, and it's focusing on the experience. All right? Let's take it from the top and let's do an abbreviated version. So we're gonna do the intro, verse, chorus. And then I want you, Sister Griffin, to go to the first B. All right? So you're going to jump the chorus. From the chorus, you're going to go to the B. All right? Here we go. Play. Yeah, from the intro. Intro, verse, chorus, bridge.
Verse 2, 3, 4.
by yourself?
Let's do Build My Life. Let's song
Build My Life. Okay.
Yeah. She wasn't
So
comfortable.
this is going to.
This is a good example, guys. Everybody, this is a good example because you can. This whole system is set up to do with whatever you have available.
Yes.
If you don't have a keyboard, you can still sing songs.
Yeah.
And in Raina's case, which we're about to see, in CMI or something like that, a small group or something like that, it's all you can play the guitar. This is another example of how you do this, or with a keyboard. You don't have to have any instruments.
Yeah. Yeah, there are times in Walkersville, I don't even play. I just hit the track and I lead the song. So you can do it like that as well. You don't have to have an instrument. There are other times where it's me and Ethan, and we have bass, and we take the bass out. So this is going to open us up to really support all the connection points, including Ironsville. It's going to also help us to, like he said, CMI, Bible clubs, any kind of small group environment, we can bring this in. All right? So you said Build My Life?
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
So you're controlling that part? And
I can control it if you want me to.
Okay,
You tell me where to go.
Okay, cool.
All right?
Yeah.
Make sure you take the guitar out.
Intro, 2, 3, 4.
Give her more.
Okay.
You gotta go from here.
No, she's already in.
Intro, 2, 3,
Okay, go.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
4.
Strum it.
Sorry. Here we go.
Intro, 2, 3, 4.
Kind of give her some body, right?
Intro, 2, 3, 4.
So she can be testifying, or maybe I'm leading worship and I'm controlling this, and she just playing along with me, right? There's variety that we can do, right? Like you kind of testifying. Anybody want God to build their lives and grow them, and yada yada yada, right? And this is our experience, right? Yeah. What's that? It just changes to a different. There's 2 pads in here. They can kind of get like boring if you keep using the same ones. But I just changed it to a different pad. Yeah. All right. Are you going?
Intro, 2, 3, 4.
All right. So that's the experience. So I'm gonna go right into this and it's the end.
Verse, 2, 3, 4.
Worthy of every song we could ever sing. Worthy of all the praise we could ever sing. Worthy of everything.
Chorus, 2, 3, 4.
And holy, there is no one like you. Open up. that.
A hiccup.
No, but like live right now, we are in service.
Oh, okay, so true.
What do you do?
Yeah.
Like, what do you do?
So if I was in service, what I would do, I would keep playing, right? Like, there is no reside. You just cut it, right? Some things happen, they happen, you keep moving, right? A lot of times, what we think is, it's the same thing when you're playing, right? If you're playing and you make a mistake, don't stop playing, right? There's gonna be a bigger distraction, right? So this doesn't typically happen. A lot of times this does happen if you have too many things up. If you have like a browser up with like a bunch of tabs open, if you have like another dense piece of software like editing software like Final Cut, anything like that, that can do that. So typically, my recommendation, what we do in Walkersville is we actually run it off of its own laptop and it's only designated for that. That way we don't have these problems. I think the reason why they did that is because I have Ableton Live kind of playing in the background as well, which is a high dense RAM pulling, memory pulling software, okay? So those are things to consider. It doesn't happen often, but I think that's why that happened. But it was good that it happened live, right?
Yes.
All right, so let's go for the chorus.
No, actually, we didn't have it on right there. It was very low. That was. Yeah. We don't have the effect on.
Demonstrate what it would sound like if I fade it out. It is over now. If you were kind of off, and you it doesn't take away from the experience, right?
Bridge, 2, 3, 4.
It's just me and a click. All right, so you can fade out and still. You have either one of these instruments.
Bridge, 2, 3, 4.
Got back in with all the instruments. So I fade it in and fade out. You know that? Manipulating that a little bit, so you can just hit that fade button and it will
So the fade doesn't kill it.
If the bio software can't do it, split it out.
Down.
correct.
Right now, the only option.
Yeah, but the fade does, it takes all those audio stems and it just slowly fades it out.
You can move it to a different section.
I can, yeah. So what will keep going is the click and the guide will continue to move on. It allows me to stay in time but fade out that music.
Yeah.
So if that part, you faded it out, but you clicked on bridge, so that's why it came through.
Correct. Yeah. So when I'm fading, so let's say I'm here,
With this,
right? And I hit play.
there's a lot more to it.
So it's in. Maybe something is going on. Somebody's off. I can fade them out. See? You just slow. But that click is still going, right? The click is
Bridge,
still going.
2,
And the guide is
3, 4.
Fades it out.
But now I just kind of feel
Can you turn the fan on?
yeah, you can do that. So that's why the click keeps going. That's why the click keeps on.
And you fade out. How do you get them all back on?
So if I can't get it back on, I just cut it completely and take the click out. Like, huh?
You can stop it and start it, right?
You can stop and start it.
So the thought is that it would be loud enough in the ear to kind of bring everybody back?
Yeah, the thought is that if I'm manning it while I'm playing, the thought is I can bring everybody back in the timing. But if I can't, then I'll just completely cut the click off as well, and I'll just flow. I'll just flow with that. Sometimes this is important. Thank you, Raina. Great job. So, especially for the connection points, it's important that whoever's playing the keyboard and whoever is leading, if that's separate, that both of them have in-ears.
Amen.
If you have a worship leader that doesn't have an in-ear, and you have a keyboard player who does have an in-ear, they're not going to be on. And that happens a lot. When Jackie doesn't wear her in-ears, she gets off and I'm having to cut the track and I just go live. Okay? So you need that because that internal metronome is going to click in. And if you're over 40, it's going to be under 40. It's going to be, I'm telling you. JR, his metronome is so fast. Right? Like, for me, it's like bringing him down. Like, JR, slow down, JR, because he's just young. It's just what it is. Right? Yeah. It's just what it is, right? And it's the same thing for us old folks, right? The older you get, it just does. It does. Okay? So it's important to make sure that the worship leader is listening to at least the click. Because if not, you're gonna go, you're gonna go like this. Let's do this. I'm gonna play this song without the click. Let's see if we can stay on.
Oh no, keep it going. I'm turning down here.
Okay. Oh, I gotta fade back in. That's important. My life, say with me. Upon your love, it is a firm foundation.
I did. That was me.
What?
I turned it.
Let's start from the top.
That was fast.
Now, I'm gonna have you bring the next one back in. Put it back in, okay? But not going too bad. Everybody snap. Because when we come in, we're going to see we all on. Now the drums are kind of helping us a little bit, right? Are y'all still on? Now bring it clicking. Who's on and who's off? If you're a musician, you better be on. JR, you better be on, man. JR's like, trust in you. All right? So, I'm just giving you a hard time, JR. I love you. So in this environment, it's not too bad, but not every song is this easy. Sometimes there's other songs that can be very, very challenging. Also, it's not even just the timing, it's also when you're supposed to come in. Remember one of these songs, it did the verse and then there was a little bit of a pause. And then the chorus. So if you're not careful, even though you might be on, if you forget that pause, you'll come in too early. That's why you heard the guide cue say 1, 2, chorus, 2, 3, 4, and there's a 1. So it's really, really important. All right, so yeah.
So you're talking about
about the guide. I cannot give you the song right now, but there are songs that the guide time is off.
It was imported incorrectly, and we need to just figure out which ones those were and fix them. Yeah, so if it's not correct, don't use it. Just let me know.
Yeah, for sure. Tell Chris.
Because it will not, everybody will get off and you'll hear the difference, okay? And it's gonna do what? It's gonna create a distraction. So when you think about it from the perspective of my job is to provide, is to foster an engaging worship experience void of distractions. That's our goal. Foster an engaging worship experience void of distractions. Any other questions?
Oh, yes. Can you speak to, if you have the in-ears on and you're hearing the guide cue and it's saying intro, 2, 3, 4, when you actually come in, when you start singing? Is it right after? Is it when they're saying 4? Just communicate how we should be hearing that.
So the reason why you're getting 4, 1, 2, rather than 1, 2, 3, right? Why are you getting 3 and not 4? Because it's a 4 count. Exactly, right? So where it's wanting you to do is it wants you to start on the 1. So back to that trusting God, look here. You see this chorus here? You can actually see it if I can, let's see if I can, right there, look at this. Here's the wave file. And you see how it kind of drops off right there? It gets smaller because that's a pause right there. And if I play it from this section, what you're going to hear is the guide cue is going to pause before you go into that verse. It's going to give you those numbers. Look.
Verse 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So right after the last number, you come in, whatever that number is, you come in immediately after.
Yes.
Okay.
Right, exactly. So you would come in right here, you go.
Verse 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
That started before 6.
Huh?
That started before he said 6.
So yes, it let in, but the spirit should be on the 1. Oh, I love his
So
spirit.
that's really part of the rehearsal part.
Yes.
You just got to know the song.
Yeah,
Well, the
yeah.
other piece is, guys, you do have to be somewhat musical. You got to think musically.
Yeah.
When you're doing this, you feel the pulse. Really, that's your own homework to do too. Start feeling timing, feeling the pulse. And musicians and singers, a lot of times it comes naturally for, but some musicians and singers it doesn't.
Yeah.
And you got to work at feeling that pulse.
You gotta work it. And you'll see here, look at there. So right here, from that verse, it kind of gets smaller, and then it goes into a big chorus, right? See that how that got bigger, small, big? But then when you look here, you'll see there's not a pause, right? So look, let's listen to the next part. No. Here, right? Sorry. So this is the first chorus. It goes smaller, because there's a pause there. But at the end of this verse, it goes right into it. So if I play here,
Verse 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
but when I go here from the verse, I'm going right into the chorus, right? So if I'm starting here,
4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So that's sounding like he's cueing the music, not cueing the singers. Because that's what it sounds like. The 1 is like the beat drop is on for the band. The singer has already started at like 1, 2, 3, 4.
correct.
And I think that's been a little bit of our challenge with timing is we're thinking that cue is for the singer.
Yeah.
And it's
What you're looking for the cue for it is
You
to
have to know the
know
song.
the arrangement. The rehearsal is going to fix.
correct.
You're not going to be looking for the cue to tell you when to come in.
Okay.
You're looking for the cue to tell you what's next. Okay? You're rehearsing to know what to say when to say. Exactly. Does that make sense? So it's important. The key to this is to rehearse. Okay? Rehearse. Listen to the song until you're sick of it. Okay? Yeah.
Is this something that you get on your phone, or is this just laptop?
You can do this on your phone. There's a phone app for it, an iPad app, as well as a laptop app. But I want to really emphasize you have to spend the time to rehearse. You do.
For the kids, if y'all are listening, everybody in this room that does worship, and Kelly brings this up, and I know because I've actually worked with some of you. If you want to go to Planning Center and rehearse your parts, that's good. But you do not rehearse for the service
Correct.
with Planning Center. You have to rehearse with this.
Yes.
Because they're not going to match.
Yeah.
They
That's
won't
important.
match. Sometimes, but mostly not.
Sometimes they match, sometimes they won't match. But really, you're learning the arrangement as well. Yeah.
But this is really only available for Apple.
To my understanding.
Correct.
Yeah.
That is correct.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean I'm switching to Apple. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that you're practicing.
Exactly. Because I can't. I guess I better not get scheduled.
Yeah. But the key is really is to put the time into it. The more time that you put into it, the more comfortable you get. And I'm telling you, you can really do this in such a way where people don't feel it. All that they feel is what they should feel is the presence of the Lord. And that's what we're wanting to do. We're wanting to create environments that people can come into God's presence and not be hindered by the limitations of our playing, the limitations of our skill set, and they can just immediately jump in and they don't even know what's happening. All right, yeah.
Sorry. With the, like, if I was trying to do guitar on one of these songs, this is just the arrangement, right? It's not going to show me the chords, nothing like that.
Nope.
Just the arrangement.
Nope.
Okay.
But it is very, very helpful if you're wanting to practice, because you can practice and you can just mute the guitar, solo the guitar and listen to the guitar. You can just solo the keyboard and listen to the keyboard, or drums, or vice versa.
That's what took me so long. I was trying to find the chords.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
because I was reading the chords off his phone
Yeah.
while I was trying to.
All right, any other questions?
Once again, you have to pick the right arrangement, right? That's a big deal.
What do you mean?
The right song, I mean, because, like what she was saying, Planning Center may have a version of the song, Prime may have a different version of the same song.
Yeah.
But you have a different chord chart.
Yes. Correct.
Oh.
Correct.
And you really gotta pick the song that you are listening to, the right one.
Yes. Yeah.
So are you able to change the speed of the song without that?
That's a great question. You are, yep. I didn't go over that. Thank you for going over that. So you'll see here.
Can you repeat the question?
Huh?
Can you repeat the question?
If you need to change the key of the song, you can change it. Okay? And that's important for some of the singers that you're like, you love a song, but you're like, I can't do that song in that key. So you can come here where it says C, and you can just click on this, and you can change it to any key you wanted to. Okay?
Yes, show me that.
And this is why it's important to rehearse, because there are some songs that Pastor Sean, what was the name of that song?
Like the song you changed, No One.
Yes, okay, so like No One. Yeah, no one, right? That song, it gets a little high for a tenor, so that song is gonna be in D. I do it in C, because C feels more comfortable for me, right? And even that's kind of hard, but like a song like, bear with me.
Let me just
Bear with him so he can
if
show
you do
me.
change keys, that can pose a problem for your singers, not even because they can't reach the notes, but sometimes with a praise team, it just locks in a certain key and you go to a different key and they can't find their part no matter what you do. So just keep that in mind. If you move it too far, you're gonna have other struggles.
Okay. All right, so this song is Power in Your Name, right?
1, 2, 3, 4.
What's the words? The verse.
Verse 2, 3, 4.
Sing the song, right? So it's sort of that goes on and on. What's the words there? No, before that. That the whole world knows it. There is power in the name. So that could be a big drop, right? If you're like, you're going up, and then you gotta come back down, right? So if you don't come back down and you go up, there is power in the name of Jesus. Right? You're stuck. Now you're stuck up there. Because when you go, there is power in the name of, it's a big distraction, right? So, am I preaching to the choir? It can be challenging, right? So that can be hard because you're like, to the whole world knows it. There is power in the name. And you're done, right? You're done. Okay? So you gotta rehearse, or you can change the key. So that's E. Let's see what it sounds like in C. Same spot. So we dropped it from C all the way down. All right. So let's do a little bit first. Let's try it.
4, 2.
Let's do the pre-chorus. Yeah, can you get both the bottoms for your fingers? I'm on the worst. Don't stop till the whole world knows it. There is power in the name of Jesus. Okay, so let me try to go up. Stop till the whole world knows it. There is power in the name of Jesus. So it's not too hard for me. But I got it. So you see, the singers, the ladies are like, this is easy, right? But if I'm a male soloist, that can be a little challenging, right? So you have to rehearse. But if you rehearse, you will get the benefits of rehearsing because you'll feel relaxed, you'll feel confident, you'll be able to lead. You're rehearsing to the point that there's no cobwebs so that you can be the most effective leader as possible, right? That's the goal. The goal is to learn it so that you don't have to focus on it and so you can focus on the engagement. But if you don't know it, what are you going to do? You're going to focus on it and not the engagement. And everybody's going to know you're like trying to find the cue, and they're going to know that you're trying to listen in, and they're going to know that you're not leading them, the track is leading them, and you don't know where you're going. It's going to be all over your face. You have no idea what you're doing, and I can tell. And now I'm just going to watch the show of you not knowing what you're doing, right? That's what's going to translate. And you got to be careful because you don't want that. You want them to forget about you. Right? The idea is you don't want to be a distraction, right? That's why we dress the way we dress. That's why we look the way we look. That's why we present ourselves. That's why because we don't even want them to recognize us. We want them to get so lost in the moment that they've forgotten about us and about the track. And now they forget about it and everybody's worshiping and the experience is created. Anyway, any other questions, comments, concerns? Right? Oh, sorry, I'm sorry. I saw you and I forgot.
So, can I use this as
Yes,
how do I have access?
that's a great question.
So that's a big question, and one of the answers is that you have to be very careful not to do anything to the songs, right?
So they can't
Okay.
individually. So once you create, and this is a good point. Once you create a set list here, when I pull, what I'm doing is here, I'm going from this library of songs here. These are all in the cloud. And when I pick a song like I did, I've already picked a bunch of songs. When I put it into this set list, I don't change what's in the cloud. I only change what's in my set list. Okay? So you can manipulate things all you want in your set list. You can't adjust it in the software.
You can't delete the song.
You can't delete a song. You can't delete a song.
The option. It'll say delete everywhere or delete from your device.
Oh, that's new to me then. Okay, so let me show me that. So, so remove from set list.
Go to your library and see if you can delete it from there.
Yeah, so only way you can delete it is if you go to the library and you have to delete it from here. So if I click here, I'm inside the cloud.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
I don't even see a delete option.
So I don't see a delete option either.
Oh, there it is.
So this is delete from device, which is the device, not the cloud.
So when you're on the set list, like if you're deleting a set list, like an old one,
Yeah.
it'll say delete everywhere or delete from device.
Okay, so like if I'm trying to, let's say, sorry, set list here.
Can you choose any one of those?
Oh, I think you're talking about, so I don't use set lists. Brunswick is a little more organized than Walkersville. I wonder why. So let me try to create one.
Actually, go to the library, you can download a set list from Brunswick.
Yeah, you're right. So let's see if we can mess up Brunswick set list.
Not this Tuesday, maybe next.
Share with me. I don't know how to get to their set list.
Right down on the left. Brunswick. It says Brunswick Connection.
Second, third from the bottom.
Oh, gotcha. All right. Is this next week's?
What's this week's?
Yeah. Help us, bro.
Ian, that's confusing to me why your set list is available to everyone. I guess because it's the same username.
It's the same.
Because it's in the library.
And
It's in the library.
we're gonna start removing our playlists each week instead of leaving them all locked.
Why? I want to see what Brunswick is doing. Okay, so you're saying if I click here, delete set list. So what is this? Is this a set list you guys need? So you would delete this one, right?
Yeah, we don't need that.
Okay, so if I hit delete set
Add
list.
some stuff to it first.
Okay, yeah, let's do that. Let's open it up.
Did you delete ours?
No. Where is that? Here? So let's click
Yeah.
on it. Let's load it.
Yeah.
All right, then we'll add a song.
In ours?
Okay, so I'm adding a song to Brunswick's.
You sure? That's weird. Is that you have access to it?
Another point with this is, I recommend before you get to the connection points, the download your, because sometimes it doesn't work good on the, if you don't have good Wi-Fi.
At
it can be
Brunswick, they're
trouble.
already downloaded.
Okay. No, I mean, all the songs?
I mean, they're already set.
Okay, they're already set. Yeah, that's right. Brunswick is organized. So this is another, this is a great example, right? So this is one that I would recommend not using because it doesn't have the cues in there. Now it will give you the guide cues, it will give you the clicks, but it will not give you those individual sections, okay?
You can't jump.
You can't jump around, okay? Now you can actually go in here like Ian was saying, and you can like edit the markers, and I can say like this section here is chorus, and I can add a marker here, and I can say this section here is bridge. Right? But it takes some work and some real good effort to get it lined up perfectly on those right markers.
Because if you set it up wrong, then the timing is off.
If you set it wrong, the timing is wrong. So that's more for the advanced class, but that's an option that you can do. That's tomorrow night. Stay tuned, okay? So I'll say that as you see, once it saves it like that, okay? But now, so we added a song. Now let's go back to the set list.
No, hit edit set list at the bottom.
Where? No, I was gonna delete this one, right? So if I delete this, do you want to delete the set list from the device only or delete it everywhere? This is delete the set list,
Not the song.
not the song. Okay?
We don't care about that.
Ooh, I think we should try their one for next week. All right? Are you sure you want to delete? So when I delete it, it's gone. Boom. All right?
Now see if after this is.
So if I add a set list, right?
Yeah, see, so this is a question. You can't get to the library until you create a set list.
Yes. Yeah. So you create a set list, right? Test.
So you're creating a set list every time.
Or you can use a set list and then delete the
You
songs.
don't have a set list in there for one.
Yeah, so what I do is I just use one set list and then I just delete the songs.
Okay. So
Right.
it is in there. It's in that list.
Yes, yeah. So I think I did it a couple times. Like if you go here, yeah, so if you go here, and I go set list, there was a couple times where I might have been organized. All right, so you see Brunswick, Awaken Our Campus, Brunswick, 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 Brunswick. So there it is. There's Walkersville. All right. Yeah. Look how organized Brunswick are. They're just so. They need to teach this class, okay? They're taking up all the space.
Hey, I'm doing cleanup work right now. All right.
All right. So now we deleted that set list. The song that was on there was after this. Let's go back and see if we deleted the song. There's a library. There's after this. So you're only deleting the set list, not the song. You're only manipulating. Think about it this way. The songs are in the library, in the cloud. I create a set list. I put the songs in there. I manipulate the songs in my set list, not the original, right? It's like I'm taking the eggs from the goose, but I'm not killing the goose.
So in other words, if you wanted to delete the set list on this device only, like I'm just going to clean up my device, you would get them off of your device, but Kelly or whomever would still have them.
No, if he deletes all of those set lists that are on here, it would delete off of the whole system.
Is that for everybody's computer?
If I would delete everything.
If she just did delete from device only, that would only delete it off of her device.
Correct.
But if she did device everywhere, it would take it off of
Correct.
everybody.
Yes, correct.
Does every device have that access?
Yeah, was there another question?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
When you had after this pulled up and you added those little sections in the
Yeah.
you did it in the set list, or will it translate to the song?
That's the challenge. It won't translate back to the song, the library. So like when we originally saw that, I tried to fix it a couple times, and it would be on my set list, but it wouldn't be in the original library. So we gotta kind of work through it. It's not a perfect system. So there were a couple songs that you guys wanted to do, and you called me and you're like, hey, it's just the one, whatever. Well, when I went in to go try to adjust it and then send it to you, you didn't have it. Does that make sense? Because I'm not changing the song, I'm changing the set list. That's the challenge. Did I get to your question? Oh, did we answer that though? Okay. All right, guys. It's been a couple hours now. Just want to make sure everybody's good on questions.
Thank you.
No problem.
Let's take a short break.
And then Brunswick's going to come up and do the whole next step.
That's right.
All right, awesome. That's pretty much the gist of it. I hope that this was helpful. You can take these if you like. And thank you, Brother Ian, for putting these off. Pastor Song, you like to say anything or close us out in prayer or anything?
That's awesome.
Okay. Awesome. Well, should we end in prayer? This kind of feels spiritual, doesn't it? Let's pray for our connection points. Let's pray that that God just continues to blossom us. We are a blessed church. We are a blessed church. And so I love to see all these new youth that are coming up and leading worship, and some old ones that are coming up and leading worship. We are blessed to not just serve our church here and serve multiple different connection points, but also serving other churches that we're supporting. And so God has blessed us, and I hope that this will inspire us to continue to do what we're doing and see what God does. And it's a blessing. So let's pray. Father, we love you, and we thank you for the opportunity to be what you called us to be, and to be used by you in this way, in this capacity. God, thank you for helping our worship experiences to be engaging and that would foster an experience and an encounter with you. God, help us, give us wisdom and direction. Give us confidence, Lord, as we partake, as we embark on using these systems. Help us to not rely on them, but to rely upon you and to trust in you, to guide us, to order our steps, to use us for your glory and for your honor. We thank you for the privilege and the opportunity that we have to be worshipers and worship leaders and to lead people into your presence. God, help us as we're rehearsing. Help us as we're preparing. God, be with us in Brunswick. Be with us in Walkersville. Be with us in Ivesville. Be with us in our youth services. Be with us at CMIs. Be with us wherever you would call us. Help us to be equipped for the kingdom and for the work of the kingdom. We thank you and we honor you and we bless you for the privilege to worship you and to serve in this ministry. Thank you for the honor. Thank you for the blessing. And we thank you in the wonderful name of Jesus. In Jesus' name, amen. God bless you.